I'll tell you what, I've been in heaven for what seems like ever now with the recent releases of so many lengthy role-playing games. But with that, I wanted to apologize to my viewers for taking so long to get the reviews out, but I feel like I'd be cheating my viewers if I didn't take the time to complete the game fully before I release the review. Enter Dark Souls, the spiritual successor to 2009's retardedly difficult yet immensely rewarding action RPG, Demon Souls. Like its predecessor, Dark Souls induces massive amounts of nerd rage and vein-bursting increases in blood pressure that likely will only appeal to the hardcore game masochists.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire. And with fire came disparity.
The developers likely should have just called this Demon Souls 2, as the mechanics, graphics, music, and sound are all very clearly reminiscent of those found in Demon Souls, minus a few interesting changes here and there. Unlike the hub-based game world found in its predecessor, Dark Souls is for the most part a single massive area that never has any load times. To help you maintain your sanity, bonfires are scattered throughout the world that, when rested at, become spawn points and heal you, and can allow you to level up, change your spells, and repair and upgrade your gear. But From Software decided to be sneaky assholes and kick you swiftly in the nuts as all the monsters in the world respawn every time you rest at one. So not only have I wasted all of my resources trying to get to this bonfire, barely escaping death on multiple occasions, but now everything that just kicked my ass is back alive and coming for more? Those fuckers. See, Dark Souls takes significant strategy and actual skill from the absolute very beginning of the game. Newcomers to the series, be warned, this is not a game that you can casually enjoy. It will suck the very essence from your soul. A story does exist and is separate in an entirely different world than that of Demon Souls, but it's often quite subtle and hard to understand. Essentially, a curse has been placed upon the world by the ancient lords, turning those who die into undead. You learn that you're the chosen undead that will bring the end to this curse, and that you've got to ring the 2 bells of awakening for some reason, and that's about it. The story builds upon itself over time, but for the most part you're left in the dark, without a mission or goal, and are on your own to explore and figure out where to go and what to do. To me, this was very appealing, but I'm willing to bet that there are gamers out there who require a defined path, and they won't enjoy this game. I absolutely loved my playthrough, and I found the levels to be wonderfully designed, offering a significant challenge around every corner. The epic scale really draws you in, and it's neat to see how all of the zones are intricately connected. My playthrough took me roughly 70 hours to complete, including what I believe to be a majority of the content. Now, I would have preferred to have a greater cutscene at the end to really see how I affected the world, but after reflecting on what I saw, I found it to be quite clever considering the nature of the game's mechanics. And of course, upon completion, a New Game Plus mode becomes available as well. Overall, I just love the look of the game. Initially, I found the graphics to be washed out and bland, but over time I came to realize that they were in fact quite beautiful, and it was the art direction that kept things dark, grungy, and terrifying, which to me gave off a sense of hopelessness. Combined with the lack of music for the most part, and the realistic and frightening sound effects, and you've got yourself an incredibly deep and immersive game world to engorge yourself in. While the presentation looks great though, there were times when I experienced some pretty significant drops in frames on the PS3 version of the title. A pretty decent character creation system is in place to allow you to fine-tune your face and body type, as well as select one of the game's 10 classes, but those really only signify your starting gear and initial stats. You can build your character over time into whatever you like, as you could roll a pyromancer and end up as a beefy plate mail wearing two-handed warrior. Like Demon Souls, as you kill enemies you'll gain souls, which are used as a currency to both spend to increase your level and your stats, or to be used to repair, upgrade, and purchase equipment. And herein lies the same dilemma you faced before, in that you must risk life and limb holding onto your souls and spending them wisely, as if you're killed, they're all lost and left at your corpse. If you die again while returning to your corpse, they're gone for good. A new humanity mechanic has been put in place that really keeps things interesting. When you die, you revert from human to a hallowed. To return to human form, you must gather humanity from various sources, including joining another game and helping them defeat a boss, or simply by invading another game and killing the player to steal their humanity for yourself. This is where shit gets serious, and I imagine is where you'll get a lot of replay from this title. See, while human, you can summon both NPC and multiple human players directly into your game to assist you with the zone and its boss. As a hollow, you can make yourself available to be summoned, but you can't summon yourself. Having additional players help you on a boss is a significant difference, and it kind of trivialized several of the fights that I've been struggling on for hours and hours. It's not uncommon to wipe for 6 hours to a single boss until you learn the proper secrets to defeating them. And herein lies another great feature to Dark Souls. The game is just loaded with secrets, unknowns, and simply a ton of hidden shit. There are hidden areas, zones, NPCs, items, gears, factions, monsters, bosses, everything. There are so many unknowns still, and it was a pleasure trying to figure out all of the game's mysteries. Magic has been changed, and while it's still really powerful, you only get a limited number of charges for each spell that you may use until you rest at another bonfire. Healing herbs have been replaced with the flask system that also have a limited number of uses until you refill them at a bonfire. These mechanics together really make you have to strategize how you're going to take down which enemies as you progress. Some new enemies also can curse you. This curse halves your life bar and persists through death until you find a vendor to sell an expensive item to remove it. What makes it worse is that these typically occur when you're balls deep into a difficult dungeon, and leaving to purchase the items means starting it all over again. A guild-like covenant system exists in the game and is shrouded in rumors around the net. Joining one of the 9 mysterious factions grants you access to some new gear and spells, but others have mentioned that they may modify your physical appearance and grant you unique abilities as well. You can perform favors for and sin against each one of these factions, which have an effect on the way the game world will play out for you, but what's really interesting is that one of the factions will be ordered to hunt you down once you commit a sin. Now, I could go on and on about the things I loved about the game, as there really weren't too many things I disliked about it. Dark Souls is mercilessly difficult from the very beginning to the point that I believe that it's even harder than Demon Souls. If you're into the masochism of games that really test your patience, I absolutely recommend Dark Souls. I'm actually disappointed that I have to move on to the next game, as I could just as easily go roll a new character and see how I can improve my playthrough. I've said it before about the series and I'll say it again. This game is hard as shit and fun as hell. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.